Welcome. After passing through the structure and rigor of metal, we now descend to the deepest place of human existence. We enter the domain of water, Shuǐ. If metal is the structure that organizes, water is the essence that sustains. If wood is the impulse to grow, water is the silent seed that contains all that potential. The image of water. To understand water through the eyes of the ancient masters, we must change our gaze. We are not talking about surface water, ocean waves, or rushing rivers. The image of water in the Jing is the water of the well, groundwater, that which is hidden in the depths of the earth, protected from light and noise. It is the water that moistens the soil from within, giving vitality to everything that grows on the surface. Without this deep moisture, the earth becomes arid and wood becomes brittle. Water is what keeps nature young. It is what lubricates the gears of life and ensures that reality does not become dry and soulless. The fundamental principle. This is the principle of water. Jing, innate vitality. Water is the reservoir of energy we are born with. It is the treasure we receive from our ancestors, which diminishes over time. It is literally our life battery. Water in the physical body. In the human body, water manifests in what is deepest and most solid, the bones, the marrow. When water is balanced, the body has a silent vitality. The bones are strong, the joints are lubricated, and the organism has reserves to regenerate. But when water is in deficit, premature wear and tear arises, a feeling of profound exhaustion that doesn't go away with a night's sleep. The body becomes dry, rigid, and without the capacity to remain young and vibrant. When we work with water disorders, we are touching the patient's deepest structure. We are talking about bone problems, spinal issues, and fatigue that comes from the root. Water also accompanies our evolution in life, from baby to child, child to youth, youth to adult, and adult to elderly. It models our evolution and our adaptation to the various stages of our lives. It manages development, maturation, and finally, aging. Water and the mind. In the mental dimension, water represents our connection to pure reality without illusions. It is the capacity for coolness and coherence. Water allows us to have mental roots. While fire can lead us to dream and imagine worlds, water ensures our feet are firmly planted on the planet. When water is balanced, the person has rational, solid, and deep thought. They don't get lost in fantasies or daydreams. They have what we call a good root. But when there is an imbalance, the mind loses its ground. Confusion, lack of direction, or an excessive rationality can emerge, becoming cold and disconnected from life. At that point, life can lose meaning and orientation. In the later stages of life, disorders may arise due to the natural imbalance of scarce water, worn down by time, that cannot control the energy of fire, leaving the person in imbalance without a root, with illusions and daydreams. Water and emotions. In the emotional dimension, water connects us with the most primal instinct of all, the will to survive. It is the link between the human being and the earth pole. It is the force that impels us to fight for life, to grow and to evolve. But this instinct has a very specific emotional counterpart: fear. Fear is not necessarily negative here. It is the fear of losing life, the fear of losing the connection to the source. When water is balanced, fear transforms into prudence and the wisdom to preserve energy. However, when water is fragile, fear becomes paralyzing. Deep anxiety, existential insecurity, and the feeling that we have no emotional ground begin to dominate the person's experience. Passivity and balance. There is a unique characteristic in water, its capacity to be passive. Water knows how to wait. It accepts the shape of the container. It lives life for the sake of life, without the constant need for superlative goals. It is the opposite pole of fire. If fire is passion and activity, water is contemplation and the necessary isolation for recovery. The balance between these two, fire and water, is what defines whether a person lives with passion but with their feet on the ground. Balance between reason and passion. The role of the therapist. As therapists, working with water is helping the patient find their root again. It is returning to the body the moisture and vitality that were lost through the wear and tear of daily life. Often the patient comes to us with pains that are cries of exhaustion of their essence. By working consciously with this element, we are helping to recharge the deep batteries. We are helping the person face their fears through physical solidity. Sometimes we accompany the patient in the final stage of his journey. We adjust the patient's condition to the natural aging in this life. The essence of water. Water is the place where everything begins and where everything ends. It is the womb of existence. To have strong water is to have the courage to be deep. Conclusion. When water is balanced, the body has a root, the mind has rational clarity, and the spirit has the peace of those who know their source is inexhaustible. It is the element that allows us to exist with depth without losing our connection to life. In our next and final meeting of this series, we will rise from the depths to the light. Fire, Huá, expansion, illumination, and the divine spark that defines our consciousness.